Real Reds Talk, except it's not. This is Real Reds After Dark, the show that asks you what can run but never walks, has a mouth but never talks, and is often found between banks. I'll tell you the answer at the end, but have a think on that. Keep your brain going. This is Real Reds After Dark, the show where we talk about everything except football. This is a show where we're going to bring stuff to the table. We each bring a thing along to talk about, and we try and make it funny. We try and be interesting, and we try and teach you something. So, got Nick, Shreyas, lads. How are we?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shreyas, I'm interrupting you there. What's the point? Who won out of India and Pakistan? That's what I want to know.
It's still going on right now. It is live right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
What's the update on the score? Like, how are we?
Yeah, it's interesting right now.
Judging by your face, is it close?
Yeah, it's close. Right now, it's close.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. And just to no, sorry, Sam.
Yeah, it's all right.
You did say on the stream before you
we're
always
still winning it. We're still winning it. We're still winning it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking. You've not cursed it.
Is this like the guys in our chat who always say like United 4-1, 3-1 and all this shit like for the entire season?
No. This ain't a record breaking squad.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Let's go back. But yeah, we each, the rules of this podcast, if there was any, we each bring a thing along every week and we talk about it. And it could be anything. It could be like I've done animal fights before. Nick's talked about his favorite films. It could be anything spanning whether
How
you
many
want.
times a day we shit?
Yeah, and public toilets, zombie apocalypses, all that sort of stuff. So it could be absolutely anything. So that's what we're talking about. We'll give you a bit of a laugh on a Sunday. So members, if you're in the chat, you're watching live, chat, questions, all that sort of stuff, chuck them in, everything. If you're watching this after the weekend, when we drop it for the public, you could have had this a lot earlier. You could have had it live at the weekend. If you want to do that, you can join the membership scheme. The Real Reds Ultras, the link's in the description. You can join that, £3 a month, and you get all exclusive content that nobody else gets, and you get stuff earlier before everybody else. Works out. Nice deal. Nick, do you want to bring your thing first? Let us know what are you talking about.
So I feel like I've been a bit diverse in what the kind of things that I want to bring, because I always think, one, I don't want to bring the same thing what everyone else is bringing.
Yeah.
Two, I want to switch it up every time we do this show, because we do it like once a month, I'd probably say.
Yeah, once a month.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's an enigma in itself. So I switched it up, and I thought another one. What do the two lads like? What are they just going to be passionate about and like discussing? So it kind of all blends into one.
Any tea? Tea? We talk about tea?
Yeah.
No, I'm nice, but I'm not that nice.
Okay.
So what I've gone with, and also there's a side to it where I'm really curious about it and certain things. So I've gone with pro wrestling, and I know there's quite a few people as well who in the chat have always mentioned it, and obviously it's a football thing predominantly. So I thought that could be nice to bring. So I've blended all 5 things here, and as you know yourselves, I've been dabbing in and out with pro wrestling. I love the entertainment side of it. I love the commitment side of it, but I also struggle to get past the really cheesy acting sometimes. So first of all, I wanted to ask you, and then whoever wants to go in first, I'll go to you, Shreyas, first. 1, why do you watch it? 2, why do you get so much enjoyment out of the actual sport itself personally? And was there something that sparked your interest in it initially, when you was a kid or something along the lines of that?
See, the biggest thing was when I started watching it when I was in middle school. So the one thing that we all heard, which actually piqued our interest, was that Undertaker died and came back from the dead. So that as an 8-year-old kid, resurrecting from the dead was something that made us all a lot more interested in it. And that's when I initially started watching it. And then the way they used to make the storylines go, certain matches as well, because what I used to do was I used to roll back the years and look at some classic matches. So you've got your Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudleys in that ladder matches. So there are a lot of classic matches. So that piqued my interest. Of course, when it came out to the fact that it's not really like it's not real. So that was a bummer for me. Because
wait, it's not real. It's not real.
Apparently so.
Fuck's sake, Shreyas, you just ruined the entire illusion.
Ruined the whole concept of it.
Yeah. So that's what piqued my interest. And the one thing that I really liked was the first match I ever saw. When I started watching wrestling, it was one of Chris Jericho's matches, and during his entrance he came out with that lighting jacket, with everything in the dark. So
epic entrance.
Yeah. So that really piqued my curiosity. So, and with certain superstars as well, their on mic skills the way, you know, they used to interact with the crowd as well, and with the crowd with all the pops and chants, it brought about a completely different sphere for me when it came to entertainment.
Yeah.
So I just kept on it and on it and on it, and you know, ever since Roman Reigns came in, that's when I thought, you know, when he, you know, decides to leave, that's when I will start watching it again.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Sam, I know obviously you love it a lot as well. You've been to like indie shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Also similar question to you, but in terms of football and wrestling, where do they measure for you?
At the minute, I'd say football is way more important. I fall out of love and in love with wrestling.
Oh.
Like I kind of dip in and dip out quite a bit. Like there was obviously the Attitude Era, which was probably just a bit before Shiraz's time, which was the peak of wrestling. Like,
was that late 90s, early 2000s?
Early 2000s, yeah.
Yep,
so
yep.
you like the rise of the Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, Hardy Boys, like Edge and Chris, all that. Like the peak prime era, I would say, of like pro wrestling. Like it was phenomenal. That was where I got introduced to it. So I got introduced. The first match I ever saw, the Undertaker was in a steel cage, and it was the first appearance of Kane. And he comes out and rips the cage door off the wall.
Paul Bearer walks down, right?
And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? This is mental. And then he choke slams him to hell through the ring. I was like, all right, I'm in with this. I'm totally about this. And then I started dipping out towards the end of, you know, when The Rock started becoming an actor and he was in Hollywood and he was doing movies. I started like things. Stone Cold had retired at that point. Triple H was winning everything and just not losing. I was just like, right, I'm checking out. So I checked out for a little bit. And then I started hearing buzz about a little guy called CM Punk, if you're all familiar with CM Punk. He was making waves on the indies. And I sort of looked up some of his tapes from a company called Ring of Honor. It's like a little indie company, still going in the USA.
Yeah.
I think it's owned by Tony Khan now. AEW, I think they own it. And he was making waves, and then he signed with WWE. I was like, I like this guy. This guy seems really interesting. On the mic was unbelievable. Like, really.
But also, would it be fair to say as well, represented quite a lot of the things you was interested in? So kind of.
So his whole name derives from Chicago-made punk, because he was on punk music and stuff. Very anti-establishment, covered in tattoos, straight edge, which I don't subscribe to, but I respect it. I liked him a lot. And on the mic, would say stuff and do stuff that nobody else was doing. Like The Rock was
He's the best on the mic.
The Rock was very funny, but it's very gimmicky, catchphrasey and stuff like that. Whereas he was very different. He went a different route. So that got me back in. And then there was obviously the most famous one is his pipe bomb promo.
Yeah.
Where he broke the fourth wall of wrestling, which doesn't happen in WWE, AEW. Like he addressed stuff that you're not supposed to address. And I was like, this guy is probably the best in the world. And then literally had a falling out with WWE and disappeared for 8-9 years, never to be seen again. I started falling out a little bit again, and then AEW popped up. I was like, they had a lot of guys that I liked. Dean Ambrose, who became John Moxley, Penta, a fantastic luchador, who I'm a big fan of, again, from Lucha. I like really weird companies. Lucha Underground was a company, Ring of Honor, UK Indies. Like, I'm all over the place. Like, WWE is not my main thing. And then CM Punk obviously returned to wrestling in AEW, and that sort of reignited shit. And now he's gone back to WWE, so I'm like sort of tuning between the two. So yeah, I've got a love-hate relationship with it, and I dip in, dip out. Football will always be a constant. Wrestling will be something I enjoy time to time. I prefer the wrestling side of things rather than the drama and the story. Like, I like matches and I like interesting storytelling within the ring. That's my thing. So I'll watch pay-per-view. I won't watch week-to-week shows. I'll watch pay-per-views and the matches, and that's what I'm interested in. So yeah, I've been to a lot of shows. On my bucket list, I want to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome, which is normally at the beginning of the year. That's on my bucket list. I want to go to a WrestleMania. If they do one in London, I'm fucking going. Yeah, I'm going.
AEW's doing
they've done it twice, but WrestleMania's hits.
I know, but I watched it. That all in last year. Fantastic, good man, very good.
And then the other one is you'll probably never be able to do it because it's so dangerous. But AAA, which is a luchador company in Mexico, does something called Triple Mania in Mexico City in their world famous luchador arena. I'd love to go see that as well. So yeah, my history runs deep, but I'm not as hardcore about it as I used to be with pro wrestling.
I mean, there's so many different ways I could go with this straight out. So first, I'll ask you a quick fire question, and
Sure.
then I'll ask you one after that. So the quick fire question: who has the best entrance ever? That's your first one. Quick fire for you
I know what
personally.
he's
that
going
you
to.
can
I
end
know
with.
what he's going to say. I know what he's going
And
to say.
then second is talk to me about AEW and WWE. How you see that kind of dynamic working? Because it's almost like the Coke and the Pepsi in it. Like one will always be chasing the other in that sense.
For me, the best entrance is Stone Cold's.
Oh, it's not.
That's a pop.
It's not what
That's a
I.
pop.
It's not what I thought he was going to say. It's not what I thought he was going to say.
Especially like the first 5 seconds
The
of
glass
that
break.
thing.
The
It's
glass
just,
break.
yeah, it's so fucking good, man. And
I
that's
mean,
arguably one of the biggest pops as well that you see.
For me, him and Y2J come really close, but Stone Cold just,
Who was
goes up
that?
with
Him and who?
Chris Jericho.
Oh, Chris Jericho, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty close, but for me, Stone Cold's, exactly like, like the first 5 to 6 seconds, and then, when he comes out, on the quad, when he just races
It's a
down on the
pop.
ramp. Yeah. So for me, Stone Cold. But yes, apart from that, I think both those companies, there is a lot of shuffling going on in between the companies. Someone is going over there, someone is coming back from there, because I think Sean Spears went to AEW, and now I think he's come back to NXT
Yeah.
in WWE.
Yep.
And a lot of wrestlers are actually changing. And I think it perhaps opens up you know a lot more opportunities for these superstars, because not everyone makes it in WWE. So they do get another platform apart from NJPW and all these guys as well, into AEW to actually perform, and maybe then they work their way back to WWE. A lot of these people in AEW have been able to do that. Cody Rhodes went back. Apart from that, Daniel Bryan went from WWE to AEW.
CM Punk.
Jericho went from Punk as well. Went from AEW back to
Edge.
WWE.
Edge has gone the other way.
Christian as well came
yeah.
out of retirement and then went there. So there are a lot of these guys, and they do a terrific job, whenever they're in the ring. So I think it also allows us to actually have another platform to actually watch wrestling at, because I think AEW brings a different dynamic to what WWE actually brings to the table. WWE I think is far more controlled.
Yes.
AEW, I think creativity wise, it goes in a lot of different directions, and with the kind of superstars that they've got, it actually works in their favor as well.
I agree. I saw something the other day actually. Jack, what's his second name? Jack something in AEW had a fucking flamethrower or something, and he was getting set on fire, and I was like, these guys are just off the fucking heads. Well, yeah, just to kind of end this section, because obviously I know you guys have a couple of things you want to discuss as well. I had loads of things I want to get into, but we'd be here for hours. Sam, what are some common misconceptions about the wrestling industry, do you think? Because, for someone who might just put it on once and watch it, they just be like, oh, this is just fucking fake, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, there's a lot of stuff behind that, isn't there? Like, there's a lot of substance to it.
I think most people think, oh, because it's fake, it's not physical or it doesn't hurt. As a guy who did 6 months worth of pro wrestling training before the pandemic, trust me, it hurts. It fucking hurts, man. Like taking a bump in a ring. So the ring is essentially it's a metal frame with a bunch of wooden slats on it that's slightly movable, and then about a mat about that thick on top of it.
It's not a memory foam mattress.
No, it's not a trampoline. It's not a fucking it's nothing soft. You are landing on wood with a mat about that big. Like it's not soft at all. Like it's not like flipping onto your bed or jumping off a trampoline. Like it's nothing like that. So you have to learn how to fall properly. You learn you spread your arms out at the back so your shoulders and your arms hit, but you take your bottom of your spine off the mat and you land with your heels and your arms and your back, top of your back first. That takes the pressure off your spine and stuff. But obviously, you train and your body gets calloused and used to it, and you build up a tolerance and it becomes more normal over time. But yeah, it fucking sucks. Like I know ropes, that's not soft rope, that's metal cable wrapped in like a vinyl wrap. Like they hurt like fuck when you hit them. So I think a lot of people don't get that. So I think if you think it's not physical and anybody can do it and stuff, go get in a ring and do a couple of weeks of training. You'll change your mind. It fucking sucks. And then the other part is the graft. Like a lot of these guys, you see them, the superstars, and they got this grand entrance. A lot of these guys have to start at the fucking bottom, man. Like I've got a mate of mine, Rick. He's a pro wrestler, and he's doing little shows in indie shows and stuff like that for no money. In a bunch of like 30, 40 people. And some guys have to do this for like 10, 20, 15 years to get to the top. Like CM Punk was on this, he was a 10, 12-year veteran before he even got a shot in WWE. He was wrestling for 10 years. And this is one of the best guys in the world. Some guys get lucky, some guys get picked up straight away and end up like Brock Lesnar. You saw him; he's just a specimen, and they were just like, "Yes, him," and he's straight in, and you could see why. So, I think a lot of people like there's a lot of hard work. It's very physical. It's a grind. It does your body in, much like football. Like you see a lot of wrestlers after they're done, they look like shit because they don't look after themselves properly, and bodies are wreck and stuff like that. A lot of them are starting to understand now and change and stuff like that. But yeah, for a while it was a bit sad. You saw a lot of wrestlers die from drug overdoses due to painkiller addiction because they're in so much pain. Saw a lot of guys blow their money because they didn't know how to save properly. But I think this modern generation is very different. I think the locker room and the way they are and the way they look after themselves is very different to the old school mentality, which hopefully means guys come out healthier, they retire earlier, and they're better in their life after wrestling rather than like you see these sad guys who are wrestling on the indies and they shouldn't be there. Like, you know, remember Ric Flair when he's wrestling in his Hulk Hogan in his 60s? Like, you don't need to see that.
Looks awkward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like your granddad after a few beers or something.
So, yeah, and I think if you're into storytelling, I think pro wrestling is one of the best when done right, it's one of the best storytelling in the world. When it gets wrong, it's hokey and it's crap. But there's some stories in there, like if you look at the CM Punk when he left WWE originally, they mixed real life because he genuinely didn't sign a contract and he mixed it into the story. And he was leaving with the belt. And actually, he did not sign a contract till that night at midnight. Like, he didn't actually have a contract. So all of it was like sort of synced into real life and everybody was buying into it and stuff and created some of the best stuff that ever happened. So I think people should give it a chance. And I think if you want to change your mind, go to a really good indie show and get into the chanting and get behind the crowd and get into the stuff, and then you'll get it. And it's like going to a match. If you go to a football match, it either clicks or it doesn't. If you go to an event, it will click with you or it won't, and then you'll realize whether you're into it or not.
And just to end on this, Shreyas, what kind of impact has it had on India, like culturally? Is it a big thing in India, or is it like?
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is. It's quite big.
Because I think they've recently actually started doing a lot more live events in India as well. And I think there is this superstar called Jinder Mahal. You know, he recently won the WWE title against Randy Orton, and he was supposed to come to India with the belt, but he dropped it to Styles. But he still came with Triple H, and it's a good movement that they've got going in India. Sometimes they do it in Delhi, sometimes they do it in Mumbai, Pune. So they have been floating around because it actually has got a big community in India, like a genuinely massive community in India. Like, I've seen people staying awake at 3:30 a.m., 4:30 a.m. in the morning just to witness the Royal Rumble live, or just to witness WrestleMania live for 2 days straight. So it's genuinely got a massive audience in India, and it has brought about a even especially I would say to the school going kids, it's brought about a different sort of conversational topic for them in schools as well. Because even when I used to go to school, when we used to get free time, there used to be a good hub where people just used to talk about just wrestling, like purely about what's going on in Raw, what's going on SmackDown, how long
any kind of sport, and it brings everyone in that sense, like a community.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you Shreyas, if you want to kind of segue into, I don't know what your topic is. We are not in the know, so unless Sam had anything that he wanted to, but
no.
Yeah, well,
I'm always good to talk wrestling, but we could be here for hours. So
you could easily talk hours. I know for a fact I could ask you a question and just let you fucking
So
maybe an idea for the future if we find any spare time.
Yeah, let's talk about Shreyas' thing, because I don't actually know what it is, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So the thing I'm bringing in is cricket.
Okay.
In general. So the thing is, growing up, I really didn't have as many outlets available to me to actually do stuff. So I used to be a very very introverted kid. Just used to stay indoors and just used to either watch television or play games in my in my house. The one sport that actually allowed me to actually start going out regularly out of my house, because I used to stay home for like 2-3 years straight. I like genuinely just didn't even used to take a step out of my house. So cricket was the first thing that allowed me to actually move out of my home. And the first match I also saw was India versus Pakistan, because that was the first time when I actually saw the atmosphere around, the people, how invested they are in in this game, in this sport. And once again, I think just like football, I think football is still growing in India. cricket is already something that is way more established in comparison to football in India. The audience is already there, the craze is already there. Football is definitely there, but the only reason I would say, football is just a step behind is because not a lot gets invested into the Indian football team. But in comparison to that, when it comes to cricket, it the way it gets invested in India is actually tenfold. And the way it has grown throughout the world as well. Like when we mention United versus Liverpool, we mention Madrid versus Barcelona. These are some classic iconic matches that you expect that whenever these games are happening, you're going to have a lot of eyeballs watching. You're going to have a lot of optics. Similar to that, I think India versus Pakistan and Australia versus England are two of the games in cricket as well that generate a lot of eyeballs. It generates a lot of buzz, and it happens all across the world. And the way it has grown, certain players of the game, certain icons of the game, they have generated a lot of buzz. People do know a lot more about them. And the way cricket has been growing, there have been a lot more interlinks with football as well. Like I've seen collaborations between Cristiano Ronaldo and Virat Kohli, one of the biggest icons of cricket in India right now. So for me, cricket, it actually allowed me to actually venture a lot more into football as well, because whenever these guys used to train, they do a lot of football sessions during their warm up games as well. So before they were going to the game, there are a lot of football training sessions. So that's when I first saw football as well, like watching the pre-match build up towards the game. And when I started watching football, the first club I saw was United. So that's how the interlinks actually came together. And I just think, I really think, for me, sports wise, both these sports, football as well as cricket, it allowed me to actually explore a different version of me altogether, because I've never been able to come out. I've never been able to speak quite freely about how I feel about a game, how I analyze a game, or how I go about a game. And for me, it helped me a lot more to build myself up, because it was usually, I'm a very reserved person, a very closeted person, but playing cricket as well, when I'm out on the field, or playing football as well, I used it just brings a different, it allows me to communicate a lot more. It makes me feel a lot more free, and it helps me to open up a lot more. So, and in comparison to that, when you're in the game, like just like when you're going to a stadium to watch football, you've got like-minded individuals around you. It creates this sense of belonging in you when you're watching the game live along with the people in fan parks, whether it's in the stadium, or whether even if it's online and you're sharing a screen with your friends. So I think for me, cricket and football both venturing into my life, it actually boosted me up a lot more. That's why I still remember the first time I came on a live on the Instagram, on the Instagram live with Adam, and you were coming out of the match, and as shocked as I was to see you, you were in the same level. You were shocked to see me as well. The only person in that live, I would say, who was quite comfortable was Adam, because he was the only one who was knowing what's actually going on.
Can you remember what I said to you?
Who are you?
I said, who the fuck is this guy? Well, I had a few drinks. I just been, I think it was like the West Ham game or something.
Yeah.
And I just got off the tram, and I was like, right, I'll join you now. I did when we used to do Instagram lives. Yeah. And you had that background that's behind you there, that earth.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is this kid? I have no idea. Just randomly joined, and then the rest was history. I think that was probably what 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
That's crazy. But Sam, I wanted to say to you, that obviously we said we wouldn't discuss football on this podcast, but that does have what Shreyas was alluding to there in terms of like kind of togetherness and stuff. When you're at Old Trafford and when a last minute winner gets scored or something along, it does have that feeling in the stadium, doesn't it? It is kind of like a pack mentality, especially when it's playing the Scousers.
Absolutely. I won't pretend. I understand the rules of cricket because I've played it and I've seen a couple of like games here and there. It's just it's not for me. I don't know whether it's the length of the game or the sort of patient nature of it. Like there's not a lot of stuff happening, and there's build up, and there's changing of bowlers and like spin ball. Like there's all this like technicality, which I might. If I was into it, I'd fucking love it. Like if I was like into that sort of thing, I'd be all over that, because there's other stuff where there's like really like, I'm a big film nerd. When directors or cinematographers talk about lighting and camera work and stuff like that, I'm proper all over it. And so I'm sure if I got into cricket, I'd be the same. So yeah, I don't understand it. It's just, it seems a lacking of emotion and sort of jeopardy when I feel like I watch cricket. It seems like things. I'm sure I'm missing something and stuff like that. What are we missing, Shreyas? What are we missing with cricket? Like me and Nick don't watch cricket, and we're not cricket fans. What are we missing? Like
I think
what is it that would
the
get us
thing
in?
I think the thing is you need to watch it. The thing is there are three different formats altogether.
Yeah.
You've got Test cricket. I think the thing is the flavor of Test cricket is only flavorful to a few people. Like
Yeah.
people who actually like it, people who actually like that long format of the game,
Mm-hmm.
they absolutely love it. And whenever there is, a Test series in England, you've got a stadium called Lords, where so people over there, they're absolutely ecstatic. The ones who actually go to the stadium and watch those Test matches, there have been some classics there. Apart from that, then there is a 50-over format and a 20-over format. The 20-over format is very fast paced. Like you mentioned, the changing of bowlers and everything. It is so fast paced. You need to be at it after every single ball of the game. 50-over, it is still quite more controlled. But the thing is, once you actually start watching it regularly, I would say the A class matches like England versus Australia, India versus Pakistan, England versus India, that's where you will actually feel the buzz of it.
Yeah,
because
it's rivalry, innit? It's like any sport.
Yeah, because in those sort of games, you will actually see it on the faces of the players, and ultimately, you just get hooked when you're watching a game. Like suddenly, you just get hooked. Like earlier on, Manchester United versus Burnley didn't really seem a big deal to me, but once I started watching United quite regularly, even when we were playing teams like Nottingham Forest when they were in the Championship or in League Two, I used to stay up and actually watch it, and it just it carries a different energy to it once you actually get hooked to it.
It's interesting you say that because right, my girlfriend's never really been like fully into football.
Yeah.
Like she'll watch it just for the sake because I'm watching it and she knows I love it, so it's kind of been one of them things. Then like when I've took her to like the Liverpool game, for example, and Ahmad scores that last minute winner.
It clicks.
It's like instantly like, oh, this is what it's about. Oh, and when everyone's hugging each other and the fucking fans are going absolutely nuts, and that like that Old Trafford roar when you hear it, like there's nothing like it on planet Earth. So that's something like that. Like it could just be a simple thing that go into a game. And watching it and feeling the atmosphere and getting that kind of thing that could just change someone's mind. I think, like the wrestling thing as well.
I have the same. Like so my girlfriend, she was a United fan, but she didn't watch every game. She didn't understand transfers and all this sort of stuff. But she knew United was and knew scores and stuff. And then I took her to she'd never been to Old Trafford in her 30 odd years of being on this planet. Never been. So I took her, and now she watches everything. Every game, every Champions League game. She knows transfer things. She knows history of United. She was the first one to sort of get the 99 documentary on. She was like, we're watching this. It's like she's fully invested now. And it was what was the game I took her to? We won a game anyway, like in a really spectacular fashion. And she just was like, yeah, that's it. I'm hooked now. And I think that might be it for cricket. Maybe I go to a T20 and it's just an absolute barnstorm of a game.
I would say start with the T20.
Yeah.
Because you will actually see, the ball getting bashed around every single ball, every single over, and
much quicker tempo.
Yeah,
as well,
and the other thing is, growing up, me and my, one of my best friends, he came up to me and said, "Look, we've only got this, both of us. We've not got any other thing, any other talent. This is the only thing that we've got. If we actually want to stay relevant in the school, if we actually want, if people,
this is the only fucking thing we've got.
If people want to remember our existence in the school, like when we go there, oh, these two guys used to be there. This is all we've got. School studies. It's absolutely school studies. We'll just go hit the ground and just do what we can. And because, quite frankly, cricket was the only thing both of us were just, were good at. So staying relevant and staying existent was quite important to him.
Yeah, in a social sense as well. Like, no, I get that. The last thing I wanted to end on this topic, just to kind of, why is it? And then again, this could be a long-winded answer, so I don't think it. But why is it so popular in India?
Like, Commonwealth is from UK, isn't it? Like if you look at where the UK had control all over the British Empire, cricket tends to be popular in those areas. Australia, New Zealand, India, Pakistan, parts of Africa, they've all got massive cricket. Yeah, West Indies, they've all got cricket teams because that's where the UK operated, and I think we brought it to that. I don't want to speak on Indian history, but I think that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. That is very
And
interesting.
yeah, and I think since that time it's just been in India. And in comparison to that, no other sport has ever been, being carried, through decades with the same energy and with the same intensity in our country. And
Yeah.
even now, like even in football, we see, generations changing. Like in England, you've seen Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Gerrard, and these sort of guys, dictating the midfield and being there. Even quite similar to that in cricket, we've got, we had one legacy. Now we've had a present legacy. Now there's a future legacy, right now playing the tournament right now. So it just keeps on coming and coming and coming. And I think cricket is perhaps the only sport that has stayed, not just stayed, I think it just keeps on growing. The
Yeah.
way, people interact with it in India, it's just completely different. And when these sort of tournaments actually roll in, like I mentioned to you, we had the 50 over format World Cup last year in India itself. The temperature was around 45 degrees, 46 degrees, and people were still going to stadiums and watching the game throughout
fuck
from
that.
the
doing that.
morning till the night.
Not
Yeah.
doing that.
Fuck that. I mean, I've seen some of the metrics with cricket, and they smash some records there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they're crazy.
Is
Some of
it?
them close to like World Cup statistics.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it as big as kabaddi? Oh, Shreyas.
It's way, 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 way bigger than kabaddi.
You don't know what kabaddi is. You don't know what kabaddi is, do
No.
you, Nick?
What is it?
I thought it's like it's one of the weirdest sports I've ever known. I've found out about. It's an Indian sport.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of like wrestling, rugby, and is there a ball involved? I think.
No ball involved.
There's it's fucking
It's
bizarre.
just pure speed. It's just pure
Yeah.
speed and rugby, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
without the ball.
it's so weird.
Imagine, you're playing rugby, but with a person who wants to escape you.
Like British Bulldog, Nick, but with rugby rules. Like it's
Right. Okay. It's not Indian Bulldog.
it's
Oh,
so it's got just look it up on YouTube. It's so weird. And then they
Yeah.
have when they play, they chant. They go kabaddi, 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 kabaddi.
Yeah.
It's
don't
weird.
mind that.
It's
That
so
sounds quite
weird.
fun.
I've watched it. I was
Yeah.
like, "What is this? This is mental, like craziness."
Madness.
But yeah,
Yeah. Sam.
should we move on?
Yeah. Let's go.
Thank you to Shreyas for that interesting look into cricket and like that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. So it's genuine
Learn
stuff. I
something.
didn't
Every
know.
day's a school day. They say.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the onion? Do you know what the onion is?
What you chop and put into your pasta, or
No. So the Onion is a satirical fake news website. So it puts out fake articles and fake news headlines. I know, articles and news headlines that almost look real, but if you read through them, they're clearly bollocks. So what I've done is I've compiled a list of 6 headlines. There may or may not be some Onion headlines in here. The rest of them are completely real and completely real news stories. So I'm going to read them out to you, and then you have to guess which ones are real and which ones are fake.
Okay, well, we can get the members involved in this as
Yeah.
well. So if there's people in the chat, we can see you guys. Sorry, we will get some comments towards the end. But yeah, make sure you get involved as well, whether you're watching this live or later.
So there is at least one fake headline. There might be more, but there's at least one. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'll read out the headline. I'll read out all the headlines, and then we could go through them one by one, and I'll reveal which one, and I'll give you some info on the article itself if it is a real one. Okay. Right. First headline: Viagra improves brain blood flow and could help to prevent dementia. That's the first
True.
headline. No. So don't guess yet. We're gonna go through all of them,
Sorry,
and then we'll have a discussion about all the headlines, and then we can go through one by one. Second headline: Do it legally. Woman stealing car calls police on herself. Yeah.
Okay.
You got your head. Third headline: Costco to stop selling books all year round. That's the third one.
Okay.
Fourth one: giant IUD, which is a birth control device that women have, inserted in front of Washington D.C. Union Station. That's the fourth one.
Okay.
Fifth one: a hiker finds pipe feeding China's tallest waterfall.
Okay.
Number 5. Number 6: Emma Stone locked on phone with Louis Vuitton customer service for 4 hours after getting refund on ripped gown. That's number 6.
Okay.
Right.
That's 6.
That's all of them. That's 6 headlines. So get those in your head. We're going to go for the first one. Sildenafil, aka Viagra, improves brain blood flow and could help to prevent dementia. Is that a real headline or is that a fake headline? What do you think?
Viagra, and again, not speaking from personal
He's going to
experience.
reveal himself.
No, genuinely not. But
When
I
Nick
know
answered the first time with so much confidence,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. No, but it does thin your blood, doesn't it? I know that. Like, it does make your blood, or at least run quicker or something. So that I can get the context of it. It probably would be. This is the beauty of After Dark. You've gone from cricket to Viagra. Incredible.
What we do.
It's what we do. So I would say just all roads lead to
Real
for
headline?
me in this story. I think so. Yeah.
Real headline,
I'm
Shrez?
pretty confident in that.
Yeah, Nick seems pretty much more confident.
Yeah.
Okay. Go with a real headline. That is true. A new trial conducted by the University of Oxford reveals Viagra enhancing blood flow to the brain improves the function of brain blood vessels in patients with a heightened risk of dementia. The new study marks a potential pivotal step in the fight against this debilitating condition.
Yeah.
There you go. Dementia could be solved by Viagra.
Yeah. People, granddads walking around who are going to suddenly start remembering things, but have a hard on all the time. So
good times, man. Good times.
A bit of,
I'd be all right with that. 8 years old. 8 years old. I can remember your name. I've got an erection.
Yeah.
Like,
so
fucking good times.
I think the majority of people, if you used to ask him, if you could bring your granddad's memory back, but he's got, a stiff on all the time, would you do it? He'd be like,
it's a side effect you'd be willing to have, wouldn't it? Like, you're right,
100%. 100. It might get a bit annoying, might get in the way sometimes, but you take it.
Baggy pants. Wear baggy pants. You'll be fine.
Baggy pants. Absolutely.
Right. Next headline. Do it legally. Woman stealing car calls police on herself. Is it true?
True. What do you think?
True. Yeah, true.
You reckon this is true? Why would a woman
100%.
call the police on herself for stealing the car?
Where's the woman from?
Happens in India all the time.
It's America.
Definitely true. Definitely true.
Yeah. It's
there is no way that is not true. That is such an American thing to do. Like 911. It's like, okay, I can imagine that.
We're both going true. Real headline.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
A Florida woman called 911 on herself as she tried to take Florida. As she tried to take a vehicle from a car dealership in Lee County. Christy Turman called Lee County sheriff to tell him she was taking a car so she could do it legally.
What would you say is the Florida version of England?
Norfolk, I'd say.
Norfolk. Okay.
I'll finish this story. Turman could hear on a recording shared on Facebook by the sheriff's office because I'm trying to steal a car that's not legally mine, so you'll better come make the report. I'm reporting this. So she thought she'd get out of stealing it if she reported that she was stealing the car.
What the? Yeah, it's just American thing. Richard just put 100% I'm married to one. I know what they're like.
This is what she told. Final statement. When deputies got to the dealership, they said Turman was getting out of the driver's side of the Toyota Corolla. That was not her. She told law enforcement she was training for a Black Ops game to take a car.
Oh my!
She was charged and arrested with trespassing and grand theft auto. There you go.
You can't even fucking drive in COD really, like quads or whatever. That's not. I mean, if it was a GTA, I would have been like, that's legit. I can see that. Such an American
They
thing.
take GTA into real life every day.
Yeah. Florida especially. Florida is just...
They're fucking nuts. They are nuts out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Fourth one. Costco is to stop selling books all year round. Is that true or false?
Is it? Right. Shreyas, do they have Costco's in India?
No.
No. Okay.
So Costco is a big fucking warehouse where you can buy large sizes of things. So instead of buying like a 6-pack of toilet roll, you could buy like a 50-pack. It's like a big warehouse. So you buy big size.
That with everything bulk, and it's got VAT on it.
Gummy bears, 18 kilos of gummy bears if you want, like shit like that. It's just mental.
I've never seen Costco selling books.
Right.
Ever.
This is America. This is in the USA. This is not UK.
Okay.
Now we need to take it seriously. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they don't read. Those fuckers don't.
In
yeah, they don't read. They don't read those.
They don't fucking read.
Sorry to any Americans who are.
Members. I don't know. That's a tough one. My heart's telling me no. I'd say that's false.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saying false?
Yeah.
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 Like
you are correct. You're correct.
Yes.
Yes, they don't read.
Yeah, 3 on 3. I've said this is the article anyway. It said beginning Jan 2025, Costco plans to stop selling books regularly at stores around the USA. The company decided instead of to sell them only during the holiday shopping period through September to December. So that was the fake article.
So is that the Onion?
Yes, the Onion.
That's one of the Onions.
That's the Onion article.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Next one. Giant IUD inserted front of DC Union Station. So DC Union Station is Washington, DC. The Union Station is the big main station right in the middle.
Of
course. True.
Once again.
It is America again.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry to America.
You know, it's in a theme. You know, it's in a theme.
Yeah, like all the mad shit that you see in the news is the majority of it is in America.
Yeah.
Or like Southern America, I
Idiots.
would probably say. Yeah, it's just oh, is it true? I'll go true. Yeah.
Going true?
That's true.
Both going true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is true. The inflatable will be unveiled on Wednesday by the Americans for contraception ahead of the Right to Contraception Act before the US Senate. The giant IUD was inserted to help raise awareness of the need to protect and codify the right to contraception. So basically, America is trying to, because they repealed the abortion law, they're now trying to repeal contraception. They're basically making it impossible for people to have sex without it being a result of pregnancy. So,
oh wow.
no condoms, no IUDs, no pills.
Well, is that not a state thing? Is that full?
No, that's in America. This is nationwide.
Oh
like
wow.
Federal.
Okay.
Obviously, states can have their own thing, but federal law, they're trying to repeal it. So there you go.
Again, learn something new.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Right. Next one. Hiker finds pipe feeding China's tallest waterfall.
I know
True or
this
false?
is true.
Yeah.
You know
I
this
know
is
it's
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I
this
think
story?
I've seen this somewhere. Yeah. That, and also, is that not a China thing as well? Like, I know we're going through countries here, but that is a proper. Yeah, we're just feeding a fucking pipe
so
into
today
our like
we lost
natural.
our American, and now we've lost our Chinese audience as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone who's watching, like, fuck these guys, fuck stupid English people. Fuck off.
My girlfriend's
Stupid
family is
Indian.
going to be furious. We're just insulting China now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is like, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw that, so I would have to say true.
You going true? Shreyas, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. It is true. A controversy over waterfalls cascaded into a social media storm in China. A hiker posted a video showing the flow of water from the Yuntai Mountain waterfall, billed as China's tallest uninterrupted waterfall, was coming from a pipe built into the rock face. Clip has been liked more than 70,000 times since it was first posted on social media. Operators of the tourism park said they made a small enhancement during the dry season so visitors would feel their trip had been worthwhile. The one about how it went all through the hardships, the source of Yuntai waterfall, only to see a pipe. The topic of the Yuntai waterfall is just some pipes began trending on social media. It received 14 million views on Weibo, which is China's version of like Facebook,
YouTube.
I think.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Whatever.
Nearly 10 million views, causing an uproar. Local government officials were sent to the park to investigate. They asked the operators to learn a lesson from the incident and explain the enhancements to tourists ahead of time. So now they have to explain to them that it's not actually a waterfall, it's run by a pipe.
So where does the pipe come from? Like, where does that go to?
So they're feeding it from a river somewhere else, and then they feed it out the pipe over a rock face. So the waterfall isn't actually a thing, it's a fucking pipe.
What the fuck? Just because, so was that initially a waterfall where it was?
So it was, but it wasn't a constant thing.
Reducing
And they wanted to
enough.
make it the tallest waterfall in China.
Yeah.
So they put a pipe at the top.
God damn, it makes you start questioning everything then when you hear them kind of things.
Is Niagara Falls real? Do we know?
Exactly. Viagra Falls, did someone say? No? Okay,
There you go.
let's keep the show moving on.
Right, final one. Emma Stone on hold with Louis Vuitton customer service for 4 hours, trying to get a refund after a gown ripped.
That sounds like something Neil Custard would make up.
Yeah.
It's in the Sun article.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm smelling onions here, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because it feels like one that I could definitely see being true. Because, again, it's another kind of American article. I've gone when we got so far. I'll go when we got again. And I'll go for 6 for 6. And I'll say it's false.
Yeah, if this is an American article, it's true. If this is not an American article, it's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one are you going with?
What's your heart
False.
say, Shreyas?
False?
Yeah.
You're both going false. You're both correct.
Yes.
Growing increasingly frustrated by agonizing customer service, Emma Stone was reportedly on the phone with Louis Vuitton representative for 4 hours on Monday trying to get a refund on a gown that ripped at Oscars ceremony.
Yeah.
Hi, Emily. We're sorry to hear you had a poor experience with our products. Do you have the order number on hand? The customer representative said for the designer brand, repeating the same words that the previous 3 Louis Vuitton call center employees had spoken, causing the Academy Award winner to momentarily put her phone on mute and scream into a pillow. Unfortunately, because you said you already wore the gown, we cannot offer you a refund, but my supervisor may be able to give you store credit. At the press time, sources confirmed Stone had stuffed the torn dress into the back of a closet and decided to try again tomorrow. There you go.
So someone's got in that much depth.
Oh yeah, no, they write
story.
write full articles, like full fucking proper.
Who the fuck has got time to that? Honestly.
Well, they do it
Very
because
structured.
a lot of dumb idiots pick the Union article up and then post it as real, and that's what they want. They want the traction.
Just
So
the
like idiots,
attention in general.
and they get people to talk about, it, and then people point out to them, "This
Yeah.
is the Onion. It's a satirical news website. It's not real." There you
Interesting.
go. It's a 6. Oh, 6 for 6. Well done, lads. You're good at
Yeah,
spotting the
smashed that.
bullshit headline.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think from years of doing this show and
Spot the
reporting
bollocks.
Yeah.
all the bollocks, you
We've
can
been
kind
Robert
of
Vinicius being linked to United, so we know,
Yeah. you can sift your way through it
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
with a
yeah.
I read
a
out.
keen eye.
I'll read out a couple of comments. Richard Hawkins in the chat. Evening, guys. Shrindy, absolute waste of a time. Dubé, Aksar, and Jadeja, worst picks. I assume that's a cricket reference.
Yeah,
Guys?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rich Hawkins, yeah, it's from when the British Commonwealth was in existence. And he said 100% on the American thing. I'm married to one. I know what they're like. Try living with a Texan for 17 years. Fucking hell. He's getting his wife some
Texas
kickings
is a
there.
spot at the minute from what it seems in America
Yeah.
out of all the other places. LA's going to shit, innit?
And then,
So everyone
yeah.
seems to be shifting to Austin.
And then Richard Hawkins gave his guesses on the thing. I think he got 5 out of 6, Richard. So not too bad. Not bad at all. Dino,
Yeah.
even guys just woke up, had to have an afternoon nap, have a heavy night last night. Not surprised, Dino. I'm glad you had a good evening.
Yeah, you just missed a lot of Onion talk articles. You missed a lot of cricket
Yeah.
talk. And you missed
Yeah.
a load of wrestling talk as well. That is what it's all about, the mixtures. Absolutely.
That is
Um,
After Dark. Appreciate you
Yeah,
lads
man.
coming on.
Yeah.
If you like this, let us know in the comments. Give it a like. Give it a comment. Give us your thoughts on the sort of subjects we brought up. If you want more of these, please let us know. We're happy to make more because it's always good to sort of take a break from football. If you're seeing this at the weekend, you're a Real Reds Ultra, and we thank you. Appreciate your support. I hope you continue with that. I hope you enjoyed it. There's more content on the way. Trust me. If you're seeing this during the week and you want to get this early, or you want to get more videos that you don't have access to, please join the membership scheme. It's like £3 a month. You get exclusive videos nobody else gets, and you get early access to all that stuff. You get badge next to your name, emojis, and different little things as well. So yeah, we appreciate all your support. There's going to be new shows throughout the week. Follow all the socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Nick, anything I'm forgetting?
no, thank you, Shreyas, for his debut in it on After Dark.
Yeah.
I
After
believe.
Dark,
Is
yeah.
that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
How
yep,
have you found your debut?
Yeah, it was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something not other than football, in it, I suppose. It's easy.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's many of we don't just people might sit and watch things like these lads just watch football and talk United and that is it.
We're
That is all they
well-rounded
do.
human beings. We have other interests.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
One
Tea
of them
podcast
not-
coming soon to you guys.
What did you say?
Tea podcast coming soon to you guys.
E-podcast.
Tea.
Oh, T-pod. Oh,
Yes.
right, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
So on that, if they are going to do an After Dark on that will just be Chivy and Sam together
No,
as a duo.
Shreyas is in for it. He
Yeah.
likes tea.
Do you drink
Yeah,
tea?
yeah, yeah.
Shreyas?
No, I don't, but I can be in for it.
No, you can't be on it if you don't drink tea.
Dan drinks tea. Dan likes
Yeah,
he
chai.
Dan
Yeah.
can be on it. We'll do a
Yeah.
separate
Yeah.
one, Treyas. Don't worry about that, mate. We'll sort that player. Anyway, yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it, Sam. We can wrap it up.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for the new shows and stuff like that. All that good stuff. Show us all the support.
And the
Thank
live
you.
next as well. Don't forget.
Live.
Sorry.
If
just
you're
another
watching
thing
this live or you're watching this on Sunday, please do
Yeah.
check out the new show we've done shortly after this. That'll be
Mhm.
live. You might catch it when we're already live, or you might catch it just afterwards. But yeah, give us that. Just a couple of comments. Doing Afternoon Dark on Cryptid. What's
think it means
Cryptid,
crypto.
Dino? Crypto or Cryptid?
I think
Let me
it
know what
means
that is.
crypto.
Oh, Sasquatch and other things. Like the Loch Ness Monster and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That could be
We'll get
interesting.
Aaron on for that because he seems to do shit like that.
Yeah, he
like,
does weird shit like that.
He does weird shit. So we'll get him on for
Australia
that
to win the
next time.
T20 World Cup from Dino. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So that.
Would you agree with that, Shreyas? Yeah.
Yeah, surely. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, lads.
Yeah. So. Sorry, Sam. Go on.
No. You. What were you going to say?
I was probably going to say what you was going to say, so just go for it.
Yeah. UFOs. I believe this is spinning out of control on that fucking chat. I'm going to leave that because another time we'll be here for another hour. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you in a bit. Peace.
Yeah. Bye, guys.